There was an article on a bodybuilding site called Built Report that's called The Two Keys to Understanding Sergio Oliva. And number one is that his head is smaller in proportion to the rest of his body, and that gives the appearance of Oliva having what artists call heroic proportions. So it makes his body look all the bigger because his head is smaller in proportion, plus his joints are smaller. So that would lead you to believe if you put Sergio's small head on other people's bodies, it would create the same illusion, just like his smaller waist on another body would do the same thing. And the other key to understanding Sergio Oliva, as it says, is that he wasn't actually 5'11" as listed. He was more like 5'8". So by himself, he'd look great, and even next to somebody he would look great, but he wouldn't look as spectacular in context next to somebody that's 6 feet tall or 6'2". Because with Sergio Oliva, when you see him by himself, you'd be of the impression, given that magazines cited his height as 5'11", you would think this person that looks like they're 5'11" because their head is small, and they have taller proportions as a result of the small head, plus they're listed in the magazines as being taller than they are, 5'11" versus 5'8" or whatever. And then when you see them in person, or you see them in context standing next to someone that really is 5'11" or taller, they're taken out of the promoted context, and in this new context, they're not as impressive as they've been promoted. But somebody writes a comment about this article, and they're talking about Sergio was better in the right places, smaller in the right places. He had quality and quantity, mass and class, which is something Arnold lacked due to his wide hips. Well, that's true. Sergio was bigger in the right places, smaller in the right places, like small joints, everything discussed already. But what stands out is which something Arnold lacked due to his wide hips. Schwarzenegger admitted to having a wide waist structure, or wider waist structure. I mean, he wouldn't really have a wide waist as humans go. I mean, a really wide waist, but he didn't have a Frank Zane waist, and he certainly didn't have a Sergio Oliva waist. But due to his wide hips, I mean, look at some of these accompanying photos from Pumping Iron and comment if you think Arnold Schwarzenegger had wide hips. I've never heard that before. And I wonder if it's power of suggestion, Arnold saying that he had wide waist and then taking it a step further to assume he had wide hips. But judge for yourself.